On today's child seat segment, we're taking a look at the 2015 Dodge Challenger. Now this may sound a little bit silly, but this is one of the largest two-door coupes that you can buy in the United States. And as such, it has a fighting chance of being able to fit a few child seats in the back. In addition, over at facebook.com/AlexandAutos, the most popular question this week seems to be, can you fit child seats in the back of the Challenger? Let's go ahead and see how that works. The child seat we're using in this video is a Graco Classic Ride 50 child seat. It is a convertible seat. That means it's suitable for forward or rearward facing installation and children between 4 and 50 pounds. If you're unsure of how to install a child seat in your car or you just want some additional advice, I suggest that you find a local certified child seat installer or inspector in your area that can help you install a child seat and make sure that it's properly configured for your vehicle and for your child seat. The first thing to do is to adjust this front passenger seat properly so I can try and fit a rearward facing child seat right there behind me. I'm going to adjust the seat so my feet are flat on the floorboards and I have about an inch of room between my knees and the dashboard. Because of the size of the Challenger, you can really get quite close to the dashboard. The dashboard does come out a little bit further than you might expect, but the footwell is quite deep. The Challenger's back seat is definitely larger than the Mustang or the Camaro, so if any of these three would be able to do this, it would be the Challenger. However, there's just not quite enough room back here. This front seat adjusted for me at 6 feet tall, you can see that it is impacting this child seat in the back. You don't really want that because in the event of a rear end style collision, this front seat can move a decent amount rearward and you don't want it impacting the child seat. However, by my estimation, with this front seat adjusted for someone with shorter legs, probably someone 5'6" to 5'8", you could fit a child seat in this rearward facing position right behind the driver's seat and have it safely strapped into the vehicle. Before you swear off the idea of having a two-door and go buy a sedan instead, there is something you should know about the Challenger versus the Mustang and the Camaro. It has a center seat belt in the rear, and that means we can actually put a child seat like this in a rearward-facing position in the center seat. Not only do we have the center seat position, but I can also put a rearward-facing child seat like this in the center position and sit in both the driver and the passenger side at 6 feet tall. That's because the Challenger is quite a wide vehicle, and that really allows you enough room between these two front seats to put a rearward-facing child seat safely in the back. Because of the large bench seat and the center seat belt, you can do something else you can't do in the Camaro or the Mustang, and that is fit 2 child seats and 1 adult in the back of the Challenger. Headroom is a little bit limited in this particular model because we have the optional sunroof, and that does cut down on rear headroom especially. It also cuts down on front headroom, so if you're a taller person, you may want to skip that sunroof option. The top tether anchors in the Challenger are large, easy to find, and they're also far enough back that when we use them with these Graco Classic Ride 50 child seats, it's very easy to tighten up this top tether anchor. That's something that some cars have troubles with because they put the top tether anchors a little bit too close to the child seat. Like some of the vehicles we've tested regularly, the Challenger has fixed headrests, as you can see over here. This means that when you are putting that top tether anchor on, you can actually squish the headrest down a little bit. It may leave marks on the top of the headrest when you remove the child seat. The surprising thing about the Challenger's back seat is not that 3 child seats fit, because this is a very large vehicle. It is based on the Chrysler 300 and Dodge Charger, which are very large sedans, but how well these 3 child seats fit in the back. Of course, getting your kids in and out of the child seat, that's an entirely different question, and one that I'm not going to cover in this video. I suspect that this center child seat would be a little bit trickier. One nice touch with the Challenger is that because we have so much legroom in the back, you can see that if I move this front seat back into position, for me at 6 feet tall, I have enough room back here that younger children wouldn't be able to kick the back of this front seat unless they really tried. It is important to mention that there's only about a hand's width of room right here between the child seat and the side of the vehicle, and so if you stick your hand in right like that, not ball up a fist or anything. So if you do want to put 3 child seats in the back of your Challenger, I would suggest narrower child seats. They are available. These Graco Classic Ride 50 seats are very middle of the road in terms of overall size, so you may want to find narrower seats to jam in the back of your Challenger. At just over 16 cubic feet of storage space, the Challenger has a bigger trunk than most entries in this category. In fact, it has a bigger trunk than many mid-size sedans, even some full-size sedans. However, it's not shaped in your traditional trunk shape, or I should say your modern trunk shape. Most modern trunks tend to be more of a trunk hatch rather than a trunk lid, and this is definitely a trunk lid, so the larger opening is right here on top, not towards the back. That means that you lift items up and then you put them into the trunk rather than simply sliding them across into the trunk. The cargo area is large, but it's also shaped a little bit differently than many modern trunks. So if you take a look at where this 24-inch roller bag is sitting, you can see that half of the roller bag is actually positioned right over here towards the outside of the vehicle, right here under this opening. That means you have to slide it over to the middle and then you can get it out of the trunk. But it does mean that you can fit larger items in there by shoving them into the corners at the back. I'm going to go ahead and take these 2 roller bags out of here so we can start putting child seats in. Let's see how well they fit. The opening is large enough to set child seats in, but you can't slide them all the way to the back because of the dimensions of the cargo area. It does get a little bit narrower towards the back, so I'm going to try and squeeze them in here in more of a Tetris style fashion, nesting them right in there like that. That seems to work well. The third child seat in, as you can see, we have a reasonable amount of room left here, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this 26-inch roller bag right there on top of that. And I suspect I'll still be able to squeeze this 24-inch roller bag in here somehow. After considerable rearranging, I was able to fit these 3 child seats and the 24-inch and the 26-inch roller bag right in the back. You could easily fit some additional hand luggage around these items in the cargo area because we have hidden hinges right over here on the side. That means that these hinges don't impact the cargo area's functionality. They won't hit cargo when you try and close the trunk lid. In addition, we have split 60/40 folding rear seat backs to help you put longer items right inside the Challenger with ease. Thanks for taking the time to check out this video. Again, this has been the 2015 Dodge Challenger Scat Pack. Go ahead and click that banner at the bottom of your screen so you can subscribe to my channel. You'll also find the complete review to the Challenger 2015 on my channel as well. You can find me over at facebook.com/AlexandAutos, over at Twitter as AlexandAutos, and you can always email your questions to alex@alexandautos.com. I'll see you next week.